What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2023 Nissan Sentra SR. Now this one is finished off in electric blue metallic. MSRP is just $22,000. So let's get right into Nissan's smallest compact sedan. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Nissan Sentra, you're going to find the 1.6 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder motor. It's pumping out 122 horsepower with 114 pound-feet of torque, and it sends all the power to the front wheels through the Xtronic continuous variable transmission. Curb weight is around 2,700 pounds, and it runs on a 10.8 gallon fuel tank, so you can also expect 32 miles per gallon in the city with 40 miles per gallon on the highway. Overall length is 177 inches with a wheelbase at 103.1. Width is 68.5 and height is 57.7 inches. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the Nissan Sentra. This of course is a compact sedan, Nissan's smallest vehicle. We do get a set of LED headlights with a really nice LED daytime running light, and I like how you're going to see this chrome trim cascading down below that. We get a gloss black grille with the Nissan logo right in the center that also doubles as a safety sensor. We get a red SR badge, and it has a lot of openings to provide maximum cooling to the engine. You can see another opening down below. You also get black trim on the farthest side with somewhat of a carbon fiber look, and overall the front end comes together really nicely. Get some nice modern designs to it, and then I like how the upper portion of the bumper flows into the hood with really sharp body lines. As you make our way to the side profile, you get a two-tone set of wheels finished off in gloss black and machined silver, and there's also a nice sharp body line running around the fender. We get one sharp line from the side profile cutting through the door handles, and then a nice smooth line down below. You can also see gloss black for the mirror caps with an integrated LED turn signal, and then all black trim surrounding the windows. We also get a body colored roof with a shark fin antenna up above, and I love how this rear piece is blacked out to make the roof look like it's floating. There's a really sharp body line above the rear fender arch, and overall side profile is pretty proportional. It's definitely a shorter, stubbier vehicle. However, it comes together nicely to have a good overall style. Taking a look at the taillights, get a really cool design sunken into the bodywork, finished off in red. You get your SR badge, the new Nissan badge, along with Versa, and then a small lip spoiler on the back of the trunk. There's some nice contours throughout the rear bumper, all of your parking sensors, more of this carbon fiber trim, along with a reflector down below, and then a pretty cool looking body color diffuser. I think overall the rear design comes together and the overall look has a modern appearance. And then moving to the interior, we get Nissan's key fob with all of your typical buttons along it. If I go ahead and lock the vehicle, all I have to do is grab the door handle. You can press this button, it'll automatically unlock, and we can check out this interior. For the most part, this has a black fabric interior with a little bit of red accents all throughout it. Taking a look at the door panel now, finished off in all black. We do get a nice vinyl area with a little bit of padding for your armrest with this nice orange stitching, a small grab handle with this carbon fiber look plastic, all of your controls along with your release handle, and some storage down below. This does get Versa along the door sill with aluminum, and then all of your manual controls. And I really like this orangish red color along the bolsters and same with the centers, and we get a really cool stitching design all throughout these seats. Overall, it's a pretty sporty looking compact car, and we even get a flat bottom steering wheel finished off in black. And then now inside the Versa, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. We have the 8-inch screen right in the center that's going to turn on, and we also get an LCD screen up with your speedometer. You can see a few vitals on the left side, and then the control panel on the left part of the steering wheel, we can actually configure this just a little bit. If I scroll down now, you can see a lot of the drive computer information. We also have driving aids, you can see your gear indicator, a few more things are going to come up as well. And then scrolling to the left or right, you can see a few more things going across the screen. So it's pretty nice to see all sorts of different information. We have the tack right in the center now with your range, and then continue down to all sorts of different settings that are in the car. And of course we have the analog speedometer on the far right side. Taking a look at the steering wheel now, you do get some nice contrast stitching. Controls on the right side for all the cruise control as well as some Bluetooth. Then we have some audio controls over on the left side. Windshield wiper stock on the right with your turn signal and headlights to the left. And then down below all that, you can see a release for the hood as well as the gas cap. We have a little bit of storage, and then more of this cool vinyl material with stitching, one of your air vents, and then just black plastic along the dashboard. I do like how there's more of that vinyl material along with all the stitching running across the center. And then moving to the infotainment screen. We do have physical controls on the left and right side, which are nice for shortcuts. This is touchscreen as well, so we can easily toggle left and right and see a few things coming up. We have shortcuts down below for audio connections, information, things like that, and then a few more settings you're able to adjust. If we go under camera now, you can see a few settings on that, and then if we go ahead and put the vehicle into reverse, you can take a view at that backup camera. Pretty good graphics on it as well. And then just going back to the home menu button and then tapping into the audio icon, we have Sirius XM, and then going under your source, we do get Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. We have physical controls on the left and right, and then all the climate controls are down below. We have your temperature on this left side, fan speed on the right. You have your on-off switch, heated seats, along with all your different zones, and a nice LCD screen right in the center. Underneath all of that, we get a wireless phone charging pad along with some auxiliaries, and some gloss black around your shifter. You have a pretty cool design leading its way towards these cup holders. We have a manual park and brake, and then a small armrest back in here. If we open this up, there's just a little bit of storage with a USB-C, and then we can open this up and we have a pretty good amount of storage. One last look at the interior. Not too bad for being a pretty inexpensive compact car. I especially like the color contrast along these seats. Then you can see a lighter color along the headliner. We have dome lights as well, and then your frameless mirror with garage door buttons. And then moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel's finished off just like we saw up front. You even get the same stitching and that carbon look. And then in back, this can seat 3 people. We have the same color accent along with a cool design in the center. No center armrest, unfortunately. However, we do have just one USB plug in the center and then a small storage cubby on the passenger seat. All right, so sitting now in the back seat of the Nissan Versa. So I am 5'11". My head just barely touches the ceiling, not really too bad. With the driver's seat set at my height though, I have a couple inches of legroom and knee room. So it's not bad. It certainly is a very compact car. You do have a pretty big window. Armrest is in a good place on the left side at least. And you do have a grab handle. There's not really any amenities, like climate control vents or anything like that. But, for an inexpensive budget car, it's not too bad back here to at least fit 2 people, 2 full-grown adults could probably fit back here. The backrest feels a little uncomfortable, so certainly not the nicest place in the world back here. However, in a pinch, it's a pretty practical back seat. And then moving on to the cargo area, you can hold the button on the key fob. It's going to automatically pop the trunk, and then we can just manually lift it up. There is a button on the back here as well. And then in the back, this actually has a pretty large trunk. Of course, being front-wheel drive, there's no drivetrain components underneath, so you actually have just a huge bucket back here. This has got a lot of space. We have a nice carpeted floor mat. You can even lift this up. We got a small spare tire that you can also double as more hidden storage space. And then after manually folding the rear seats down, you can see just how much more storage space you're gonna get in the Nissan Versa. They fold down nice and flat. You got a huge opening into that trunk, and you still got quite a lot of storage space all up in front. All right, so we are setting off in the Versa. All right, putting that little engine to the test. I gotta say, for being a CVT, it's actually not bad. It kind of does shift, like they've preset spots within the transmission to somewhat shift to make it feel like a normal transmission. But for being, an inexpensive economy car, it does drive kind of like what you would expect. However, it's actually not bad in here. You do have a huge windshield, so you have fantastic frontwards visibility. These extra windows really help out. Mirrors, of course, all do a great job. You can really see through that back glass. Great visibility over your right shoulder. Same with your left. So, this is just a big bubble in here, honestly. It's really easy to drive. The seats are decently comfortable. You can tell, they're not the most plush seats in the world. They're a little on the hard side. However, again, the price point, this is the economy car. They're comfortable enough. It's roomy enough in here for my height. Steering wheel is pretty cool looking, and you have good armrests, so it's actually not a bad place just to rack up miles. Obviously, this kind of car is just point A to point B on a budget. Now, when you are taking some turns, it does feel like a pretty composed car. There's not really crazy wind noise. You can hear just a little bit of road noise and wind noise, but it's nothing to think you're in something cheap. It feels like it's pretty well built for the price point, and it's easy to drive. It really isn't anything crazy, and you have enough technology. This SR does have like an $800 package with a few options on it, but of course having Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that kind of gives you all the modern technology just by having that function, and the screen in the center gives you everything. So it seems well appointed for the price, and it really doesn't feel like a cheap, small car. It feels like it's well done on a budget, and you have enough room. One thing you do notice, at least from my perspective, not used to driving the compact cars, it is a narrow vehicle. The door panel I can touch from sitting in the seat. I barely have to reach over to touch the other side of the car. Other small sedans I've been in, you can't quite do that. So you can tell this is a narrow, small car, which is why it's a compact. So it's definitely on the smaller side from a normal sedan. However, it makes it easy to park, easy to maneuver. You have a pretty good turning circle and things like that. And as we go over some train tracks, let's test out the ride quality. Honestly, that was really solid. I've been in some more expensive vehicles, and hitting that train track shakes and rattles. This thing doesn't do that. So at least on a low price point, Nissan was able to give you something that feels like a nice solid car. It's just the compact one, and it's kind of good enough. The power plant, while it is certainly not fast, it gets up to speed, so it's good enough, to merge into the highway, things like that. So it seems like a pretty well-balanced car to drive on a pretty low budget. And let's just test out the turning circle real quick. Being front-wheel drive, it should turn pretty sharp, but not a bad little car. And actually, that's a pretty tight turning circle, so yeah, pretty good option if you're looking for that on a budget compact car. All right, so turning around to my perspective, honest thoughts with the Nissan Versa. It's hard to really pick it apart just because the price point is insanely low. You can get the Versa, starting price is around $16,000. Just a base model, an S with a manual transmission. This one right here, the SR, starts around $19,000. So we have just a few options, and then of course destination. So it's really inexpensive, and it's not a bad car for the money. Obviously it's not the fastest, not the most refined, not the coolest car in the world. However, if you're looking for something around 20 grand, brand new, really good warranty, easy finance options, being a brand new car, I mean, that's not hard to argue with. You really do have quite a lot. I think some of the biggest selling points are the fact that it doesn't feel cheap. While it's a cheap, inexpensive car, it doesn't feel cheap. It feels pretty solid. Even the transmission, when you're just driving normal, getting up to speed, it shifts like it's a normal transmission. So it doesn't just have that weird, uneven sounds like a CVT. I think Nissan does do the best with the CVTs. Somehow they make them to really feel pretty normal. And this drives kind of like a normal car, and it really is pretty solid hitting bumps. It doesn't feel like a tin can. Even when you close the doors, go over bumps, it feels pretty solid. And I think at this price point, when you're looking at the compacts, the cheapest cars in manufacturer's lineup, I think having one that doesn't feel like a tin can, I think that's a big selling point. So the Versa seems like it's that. It's a good priced car that can do what it needs to do, which is just get good gas mileage, get you from here to there, with ease. That's kind of what this car is designed to do, and it seems to do that without feeling like you're sacrificing having just a good riding car. So I think that's something that I like about it a lot. Like I said, not really anything you can complain with just because it's a compact. It is what it is. For me personally, it's different getting used to this size of a car. I'm not used to the most compact, so being able to literally grab the door panel is pretty interesting. I'm not used to a car that's this narrow, but nonetheless, not a bad little car. Up front, it's pretty comfortable. I will say legroom and stuff, it's not the greatest. And again, price point obviously, but your knees are a little bent on here. That's really the only complaint I would have. But overall, not a bad option. Give me some gas. Yeah, that was 10 miles an hour difference. So not a fast car whatsoever. It's got enough pep when you're in the low speeds to get up to speed, but that's about all you would expect from a small car like this. I think that is then it, wrapping up in the 2023 Nissan Versa SR. If you're looking for an entry-level car at an entry-level price and you are looking for something brand new, put this on your list. It's a good option. You got enough space, enough practicality, enough tech in it to just be a cool little car. And I think it does look good. I think they really updated the styling. This SR with the red accents or orange. It's hard to tell if it's red or orange, but the little accents in it, inside and out, make it look pretty nice. And this color definitely makes it pop. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Nissan Versa review. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content to come. And that's all the power we got. But I will see you guys in the next video.